Hi, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Sharon, aka the Melanin Nostalgic Runner, and this is Get Fit With Me series, Yoga Edition, and we are at day 12. We're doing ability. So the practice we're going to be doing today, the yoga challenge is day 12, ability sun salutation, and it is early in the morning, so we can go ahead and get that going. And the candle that I'm featuring and burning today is Beach Cabana. And if you have had a chance to check out my friend's candles at WanderingStarCandles.com, definitely check that out. I believe I do have a link in the description from other videos. I'll go ahead and put in the link in the description this time around. And yeah, so without further ado, let's get into it. We're going to start today's practice in a comfortable seated position. And once we are in that seated position and we work on our breathing, we then are going to put our hands above our head and do a gentle twist on each side before we then transition over eventually to a tabletop position to start our cat and cow to get us warmed up for this practice today. In the tabletop position, besides doing some cat and cows, we also are going to be stretching our wrists multiple directions because we are going to be doing quite a few vinyasas in this practice. So we do stretch it just going back and forth and then also side to side as well. After stretching our wrists and also doing some cat and cows, we then are going to make our way to a sphinx pose. And from the sphinx pose, we are going to do our first extended child's pose. Child's pose, we are going to make our way to our first downward facing dog, and this is going to be start of our sun salutation sequence. So from the downward facing dog, we're going to make our way to the front of the mat in a standing forward bend, and then we're going to then just do the whole entire sun salutation where we end up in mountain pose, and then from mountain pose, plank. From a plank pose, we could either go all the way down or halfway down to an upward facing dog, or cobra to a downward facing dog. And this is basically going to be the sequence for most of the practice today, and we're going to be repeating that multiple times. after doing this sequence 3 times, we then are going to now add, once we do the last downward facing dog and make our way back to the front of the mat, we're going to add a chair pose into this as well. And then from the chair pose, we're going to do the sequence again, where we will then end up in downward facing dog. And from the downward facing dog, we will do a 3-legged dog on each side, adding warrior one as another pose, another element to this. And we're only going to be doing this added piece, at least when it comes to the warrior pose, for each side one time, but we are going to do that chair pose twice. After doing the 2 warrior poses and then ending up back in the chair pose, we are now going to make our way back down to the mat where we are in an extended child's pose. And this is going to be where we are slowly closing the practice. So from the extended child's pose, we are going to then make our way to lying on our back, where we're going to give ourselves a nice big squeeze. And from there, we're going to do kind of like a stirrup pose, but not quite. It's a little bit more of like a combination of a cobbler, a seated cobbler slash stirrup pose. And then from there, we are going to settle into Shavasana or corpse pose, and that will conclude the practice. So it does, even though it is a 20-something minute practice, it is a practice that does go by fairly fast because it's a lot of repetitive work and and very high energy as well. Hi, so that concludes the yoga practice for today. How I would rate that? I'll rate that a 9. It was really, really good, really, really nice. Sun salutations, you can't go wrong with that. You just really can't. And today the weather is not so ideal. Outside actually is raining. It's been kind of, I'll be honest. Let's time out. I know we normally talk about what the review is for the yoga video that we just did and the routine I just did. But I don't know about anyone else who's in the Midwest, but those who are in the Midwest, the weather has just not been weathering the way I wanted to. Like, it's not summer right now. It's raining. It's still kind of springish. So, which is great for the allergies. Sarcasm, not really. But as a result, it is actually a little gloomy outside in the middle of June. So there's that. But I say all that because this yoga routine was amazing and kind of helped me keep moving. And it felt good. It was a good yoga routine. And I was trying to make the sun happen, but the sun's not coming out for the sun salutation, but that's okay. But yeah, I definitely rate it a solid 9. And as I mentioned before in the prior videos, I feel like that this 30-day challenge is helping me by quite a bit. And hopefully if you guys are doing it too, it's helping you too, because I feel like I'm getting stronger with the yoga. Even another side note, I went to the gym this morning. Even that routine felt different. It felt like, oh my gosh, I feel strong. Not like muscular strong, but like I feel solid, which sometimes, I don't know, if you're someone who's been active for a long time or someone who really hasn't, I guess it doesn't really matter. You just have those days where you just feel weak. And I haven't felt that way since I started this 30-day challenge. So there's that. And we're already moving through it. We're already at day 12. So amazing, right? But anyway, that pretty much concludes the video. Please like, comment, subscribe to the channel if you get anything out of the content. It's your girl Sharon, aka the Melanin Nostalgic Runner, and I will see you next time. Bye.